What's up, YouTube? Two Movies here. Now, almost every year there will always be a film that you'll be excited for, but then you end up seeing it, you end up feeling it's disappointed and all. So I'm doing my top 10 most disappointing films of the year because there are a lot of films that was supposed that I had a little high that I had some hopes for, not high hopes, but some hopes for that they could have been good, but I went in and I was so disappointed by them. So, with that being said, here are my top 10 most disappointing movies of the year. All right. Coming in at number 10, I thought the premise for this sounded interesting. I like the director and cast, and that is Lockdown. Now, Lockdown was, of course, pretty much like a heist movie that took place during the COVID-19 pandemic. That starred the likes of Chiwetel Ejiofor and Halfway. I love those two. I like Doug Lyman, but Saturday Lockdown just was not good. It wasn't as bad as Doug Lyman's other movie, Chaos Walking. Chaos Walking was still horrible, but yeah, I had some high hopes for this movie. It sounded intriguing. Love the premise. I mean, you had a cast that included likes of Chiwetel Ejiofor and Halfway. Ben Stiller was in this. Most of the supporting cast rarely even had much screen time in this, so there's that. Like, let me put the full-on cast list in this. I mean, yeah, you had the likes of Halfway, Ejiofor, Stiller, Ben Kingsley, Lucy Benoit. You had Dua Hill, Kay Leung, and you had Stephen Merchant. I mean, this movie could have been really decent, but sad to say, it just didn't really sit right, and I was way too disappointed with this movie. So, yeah. Anyway, coming in at number 9, maybe I was interested in this because I do love this franchise, and I've enjoyed some of the unpopular ones that most people are not a fan of, and that is the recent Wrong Turn movie. Now, like I said, I love this. I love the original Wrong Turn film, and I have always enjoyed the sequels. And when they announced that they were doing another Wrong Turn, I was like, okay, sign me up. Let's see where this goes. What the heck? For one, this movie did not even have the same killers from the original. I'm like, this is like doing another Friday the 13th without Jason, or maybe a Halloween without Michael Myers. This is pretty much Halloween. This is like Halloween season 3. Halloween 3 season witch in a way. I mean, this movie was completely boring. Didn't have a hardly much gore as you expect from the Wrong Turn franchise. I mean, yeah, this I don't know. This film could have been good. Like I said, I do love this franchise. The trailers actually look pretty decent, but I actually ended up checking this movie out, and I thought it was horrible. Maybe one of the worst horror movies I saw this year. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be like doing another Hatchet movie without Victor Crowley. That I mean, I'm hoping we do get another Wrong Turn featuring those. I was keep forgetting the actual killer's name, Two Fingers, I believe. But man, I hope we get another one featuring those kills because those kills are so iconic. So anyway, coming in at number 8, I wasn't too excited for this, but I did quite like the director because he's made some really decent movies over the years. And number 8 is, of course, He's All That. I had some hopes for this because I did quite like, because it starred Tanner Buchan, who, by the way, I just saw Cobra Kai, new season of Cobra Kai. I'll be reviewing that here in a bit. Of course, it starred Tanner Buchan, who I love on Cobra Kai. I think this dude is terrific. And I am at this movie actually. There are only some few people in this movie that makes the movie watchable. One is of course Tanner Buchan. I think he's actually the better part of the movie. Another part is the Matthew Lillard cameo. That was really cool. Like the scene with Matthew Lillard, talking to the DJ that's using his phone and stuff. That scene actually made me chuckle. And another one who stole lots of scenes is the one who plays like Tanner's sister. I know she stole lots of scenes here. And I also like Mark Waters. He is the guy who gave us movies like Mean Girls, Freaky Friday. He's also given. I also loved his Bad Santa sequel. So I had, some high hopes for this movie. The trailer was bad. The movie was just was terrible, and it shows that TikTok stars should not act. I mean, Addis Rae, she's a good looking girl. I will admit that, and she seems like a sweetheart too. But holy cow, that girl cannot act. I mean, seriously. Granted, this is just her first feature. Maybe if she had her chance at acting down the line, maybe I don't know. Maybe she'll get a little better. That's always a possibility. I mean, come on, let's be fair. It's not like I could do any. It's not like I could do any good, you know. So yeah, he's and I also thought it could have been decent because you even had Rachel Lee Cook coming back as well. But sad to say, this just was not so good at all. And yeah, anyway, number 7 is another reboot. I actually had some attention. Like number 7 is of course Home Sweet Home Alone. I don't know why I was actually at least intrigued for this new Home Alone film, despite the other Home Alone movies being so bad. Some reason I had some anticipation of this one. One, it's starring Archie Yates, who I thought was terrific in Jojo Rabbit. It also was directed by I forgot to do that, but it was directed by the guy who what's his name? That something I can't remember the director's name. But he directed Dirty Grandpa, which I'm one of the rare folks who quite like Dirty Grandpa. I know I'm in the minority, but Dirty Grandpa is so funny. Of course, you guys know Dirty Grandpa is like a raunchy comedy that had Robert De Niro, Zac Efron, Aubrey Plaza. That movie had some really fun laughs, in my opinion. But sad to say, yeah, this movie just didn't sit right. It was cool seeing Buzz back. Love the Home Alone references, but sad to say, this movie just is so terrible. I mean, the kid is not even likable. You actually sympathize with the villains more than the kid, So there's that. I mean, yeah, this is just a horrible reboot, and I say skip this one and just watch every Christmas season. Just skip the Home Alone sequels and just watch the original. The original Home Alone and Home Alone 2 are two movies that still holds up. So yeah, and I didn't mind Home Alone 3, but just all right, number 6, I'm gonna go with The Woman in the Window. Now, I had some high hopes for this movie because I like the director, I like Amy Adams, I like Julianne Moore, I love the cast involved. So I was at least intrigued, but holy cow, this movie sucked. It was horrible. It. I like Joe Wright too. Of course, he has that new Sereno movie out, which I've been hearing some good things about that. I gotta really check that one out. But yeah, this film was just plain bad. It was really poor. I mean, and not to mention the movie kept getting delayed a couple of times. Obviously, I guess the pandemic halted everything up and stuff. But still, I mean, even before the film's release, the test screenings was horrible too. I'm like, man, how poorly bad is this film is for the test screenings to be terrible? I mean, it was just like a stupid Rare Window ripoff, which didn't go anywhere. Dumb twist at the end. It's just a horrible film. So yeah. All right, number 5, I'm gonna go with The House Next Door. Now, I actually quite like the first Meet the Blacks. With Mike Epps in that, George Lopez was in that one. So I actually was intrigued to check out sequel, but the sequel just did not live up to the anticipation of the first film. I mean, Mike Epps was okay, I guess, but man, crazy acting by Snoop Dogg, by Danny Trejo, and I love Snoop Dogg, by the way. Snoop Dogg is the man. But holy cow, this movie! Cat Williams pretty much playing like a Fright Night like vampire. Really, that was an odd choice. It wasn't even all that scary. The humor just didn't sit right. It was a little boring too. I mean, it's rare for me to find comedies boring, but yeah, I mean, I wanted to like this because I love the first film, but sad to say, the sequel just didn't live up to the potential. All right. Number 4, Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, I'm one of the rare folks who didn't mind the Resident Evil franchise. I do find them to be pretty fun, entertaining, and all. But the new Resident Evil movie was just, how do I put this lightly? Was horrible. It was completely bad. I mean, I guess I should expect much. The movie was directed by Johannes Roberts, who also gave us the 47 Sound movies. He hasn't really directed. Like, his only good directing movie that I'm actually one of the rare folks who didn't mind was his Strangers sequel. I know most people was a fan of that, but I didn't mind his Strangers sequel. But other than that, I have not been a fan of this guy's work at all. Is he like Bull bad? Maybe not. He's not as bad as the guy who directed that American Boogeyman. He's not as bad as that director, but he's probably gonna be up there. This is just, yeah, and it's a shame too. I love the cast involved as well. Casca Daria, I think she's a cool actress. Hannah that John Kamen, Robbie Robbie Amell was great. I mean, you had some really cool cast members in this, but this movie was just, yeah, not so good. All right, number 3, I'm gonna go with Escape Room Tournament of Champions. Now, I actually enjoyed the first Escape Room. It was actually one of the most surprising films I saw that year, because I didn't have any hopes for the first film at all. And then when they announced the sequel, I'm like, okay, I'm actually interested in the sequel, especially how the first film ended off and all. So I went in to check out the Escape Room sequel. Came out disappointing. This movie wasn't so good at all. It was not as good as the first film. Had the same tropes as it. I'm like, I think of something different, really, people. Yeah, it's a shame too, because I love the original film, and I was interested in seeing it first sequel, but after seeing this one, I'm like, yeah, I'll be okay. We don't get there one now. So yeah. Anyway, number 2 is of course Snake Eyes. Now, I actually quite like the first two GI Joe movies. I do find them enjoyable, but how is it like? It's boggling my mind how they mess up. For one, the character of Snake Eyes is not likable at all. When you make a movie, you always gotta make your character likable, but the Snake Eyes character was a bit of a duck. And the shaky cam, I'm like, what the that is horrible. Now, granted, I think Henry Golding was okay. He plays part decent, but the movie was completely bad. It was really poor, terrible. Like, some of the action was okay, but the set right. I mean, the main villain is actually the better person of the movie, really. He's more likable than the hero. So, of course, the main villain is Stormbreaker. So, yeah, they try to set up a sequel, but by the look at the box office, ain't no way we're getting a sequel. All right, my number 1 most disappointing movie of the year goes to Old. Now, Old, I've had quite liked M. Night Shyamalan's recent movies. So I was actually interested in checking out his next film. Like, he's been becoming my favorite director again. Ever since he did The Visit, and then he gave us. I was like, anytime he does a movie now, I'm definitely excited for it now. Twist, here it comes. Was not good at all. I literally called it M. Night Shyamalan's worst movie since After. Now, I admit, it's not as bad as, let's say, The Happening or Last Airbender or even Way in the Water, but I was completely disappointed by it. It just didn't live up to its potential. It had a great premise, too. Like, it was just all not scary. The twist was just terrible. This movie, like, I also like the cast members. I mean, I love Alex Wolff. I like Thomasin McKenzie, who's great in Last Night Soho. I like Gail Garcia Bernal. But just this movie just was not so great. It was completely boring. The script was terrible. The dialogue was bad. I mean, it's just not that good at all. So, I don't know. M. Night's next movie is Knock at the Cabin. Hopefully that's good. I'm rooting for this guy because he has potential to have some really solid movies the next few years. And he's been doing pretty well up until old. So hopefully his next few films will be decent. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Lockdown. 9, Wrong Turn. 8, He's All That. Welcome to Raccoon City. 3, Escape Room Tournament Champions. 2, Snake Eyes. And number 1 is Old. Let me lead you guys. What do you think are some of the most disappointing films of the year? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notification. This is Timmy signing out.